start. Yeah, baby. Hey, what's happening, everybody? We got another episode of Strange Happenings for you. We're holding it down in master control. We got Stoner down here making sure all the fires are put out because it's just Bub and I tonight. And we've got everything cooking. We had a couple little technical issues leading up to it, as always, with Bub's setup. We're still getting that dialed in. I see all you wild guys out there, gals and girls out there, Cess in the city, born not to run. We got Stoner's dad. What is up, man?
All
hey,
right.
Everything's going great with Stoner's dad from what we hear. Many
Fantastic.
prayers and love out to you, sir, and the entire Stoner clan. We got a great show for you guys tonight, of course.
He's in the background. He photobombs you.
And we got a Stoner.
A wild Stoner sighting.
We got the loner Stoner lurking about behind me.
That's awesome.
We kind of forgot to put out an Instagram post today, so we got a little something going out for all of our Instagram followers to make sure everybody knows we're going live for Strange Happenings. This is our second stream of the week, guys. So we actually had an episode last night that we recorded for you guys that's going to be released in a few weeks, and that was with Michael Collins from Wandering Wolf Productions. And Will from Incredible History hooked us up with Michael. He's a great dude. We had an amazing conversation. He's doing work. He's actually meeting up with Will in South America right now. He just took off from a plane this morning to meet up with Will, I believe, in Ecuador. So stay tuned to everything that Wandering Wolf Productions and Will from Incredible History. They're going to be posting a bunch of stuff, but it was a pleasure to have him on. And there we go, Born Not to Run, popping those links in. How about that? I want to give a special thank you to Born Not to Run. He's been helping us out moderating, but I've literally have given him zero instructions until today. So he's some leader I am, right? Well, appreciate the hell out of you, brother. We got an awesome show for you guys tonight. You know where to find us, at The Strange Road, on all those platforms. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, Google, hit those 5 stars, reviews, or bust. And also, right here, make sure you hit that like button. Go hit that like button and that notification button. If you're not already notified, it's got to be that solid white one, baby. Got to hit that solid white one. Bub, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. After, always technical stuff. It's just not my, setting things up with wires and knowing how to troubleshoot some of the stuff. It's getting easier, but yeah, when we were trying to figure out my mic, I was like, you guys turn it down. I'm like, I felt like Super Troopers where I was like, I'm already pulled over. I can't pull over any further. Like, I don't know where to go with this. Like, but this is as low as I can make it go. So I don't know. Get a Campbell soup can here in a minute. But no, everything's good. Otherwise, it's warm in the building. So that's good.
Yeah,
gotta be happy about the small things.
Yeah, it's a little warmer because it's warmer outside. Not that we have heat. It's just warmer outside.
No, let's not confuse that with the modern invention of boilers and radiant heat. And let's not go that far with it. But
man. Well, we got Born Not to Run posting those links in there. Guys, go check out the merch portal.
Awesome.
I feel like we haven't been talking about it enough, but we are working on some new designs, some new things that are cooking. We're going to unleash some of that stuff out at Frogman Festival. If you guys haven't gotten your tickets for Frogman Festival, that's frogmanfestival.org. Our buddy James Willis, Jeffrey Wilson, and a whole bunch of other speakers are going to be there. Our buddy Jeff Craig from Map in Black is actually coming in studio to talk about Frogman Festival this coming Monday. So this cool. Monday, another live stream for you guys. We had a Mel on Monday. We got Strange Happenings today. This coming Monday is Jeff Craig from Frogman Festival and Map in Black. It's going to be epic. Jeff's just a highly unique, highly strange dude. He's been on the festival and event circuit for years and years and years. And he decided, hey, I'm going to start my own festival. And so this year is the 2nd annual Frogman Fest. And Jeffrey Wilson and Jeff Craig actually go way back when Jeffrey helped out Jeff with his Weird Ohio maps. And Jeffrey provided some of the images and photos for the Serpent Mound. So those guys apparently have known each other forever. So super stoked for Frogman Fest. Come and hang out. Bub will talk your ear off. And
gonna be there.
It'll be a good time. But yeah, we got a couple things. Who else we got in the chat here? Flutz Capacitor with us as always. Welcome, man. What's happening? We've got M. What's happening? We did see Heather Lamb. If you're in here, I'm glad we got your T-shirt figured out in the whole shipping debacle. Yeah. So I'm glad to hear that you got your Strange Road T-shirt. Much love.
You always want to support, but you want to actually get what you're supporting. Yeah, you know, you hate to just throw money in the breeze.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll always try to figure that stuff out for you guys. Try to take care of any issues anybody's having. And also, one thing I did want to do, which I can find it here in a little bit. You know what? Let's move on. I'll do that at the end. No worries. But we do have a special announcement at the end of this episode, so you got to make sure you sit tight. All right? So we can hop right into it. Let me see. Stoner's got all these pretty awesome buttons for me to hit, and there it is. Let's get into this, and we're gonna merge, baby. Our first article for tonight is from Coast to Coast AM, and this has been all over the place, but we thought we'd give our boy George Norrie a shout out.
Oh, absolutely.
So this has been going around the internet. We're going to watch the video here in a second. But basically, this is a really strange thing that, you know, as technology kind of evolves and we have LiDAR and radar and you know, we have these 4D LiDAR systems and different things that are going to be starting to be implemented and already are being implemented on, you know, autonomous vehicles and Teslas.
Right.
And we're going to start
everywhere.
Picking up some really weird stuff, I believe.
Who would have ever thought, though, that that's what they would have started feeding back? And
ghost hunting tool, right?
Right.
So we got a spooky piece of footage circulating online shows what appears to be several ghosts being detected by a Tesla that is parked inside a graveyard. The eerie video was reportedly filmed at a cemetery in Rhode Island community of Burrillville, where the infamous Conjuring house is located. Hello. If you guys haven't seen the Conjuring series.
Could you imagine waiting in a car? You imagine you're waiting in a car to pick somebody up near, like you're on a first date, you're outside the house, they happen to live next to the cemetery, and you're like, I'm just out of there. Sorry.
Right.
Whew, buddy.
Absolutely, dude. But The Conjuring, that's about Lorraine Warren and her husband. Was it Bill and Lorraine Warren? Born Not to Run. Burton, you guys probably know that off the top of your head.
You don't want me to stab at that one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and they're the famous demonologists, The Conjuring, and The Nun. All those franchises were Annabelle is based off of a true story of a haunted doll. That they ended up keeping all these creepy artifacts from all their investigations in their house. That's like Jim Bowser, the Temple of Tolerance, all the weird stuff. But this is all haunted items. Divic boxes and, you know, spooky things.
Well, I mean, you're kind of asking for problems there.
Right. 100%.
I mean, that's like owning, you know, all poisonous snakes. Just at a certain point, buddy.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to win. Like, it's just how it, you know, it just happens.
Right. Exactly. Hey, look at that.
Not saying they're a bad thing.
No. Not at all. Yeah. And we got Chasing Mound Builders in the house. Shout out to you, brother. How are you guys doing? The chat's on fire, man. This is great. We got to get some, share this video. Let's get everybody in here. Let's hang out. All right, guys. So we're going to check out this video. So the second figure subsequently pops up on the GPS system, and two people seemingly wander around near the car several seconds. The group's fascination with what's happening quickly turns into terror when the suspected ghosts suddenly multiply. And now we're going to take a look at this. Here we go. And let's hit it. Let me make sure you guys can hear this okay, too. Or if it's too loud, I can turn it down. So check this out. Just random, and they kind of start multiplying and splitting off. But look how it kind of glitches in and out too, which is very, very strange.
That's the two of them for sure. Something's over here though.
That's bizarre.
Look at that. right? And then it goes back, snaps back in to one person. And then the one's like in the headlights walking right towards them.
What the is that?
Dude. No. What?
Bro. And it's right by the
There are
door.
so many people showing up on the screen. I swear to God.
Yeah, that's strange.
Bro, what?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, no. Sorry. Gotta go. I wouldn't be staying. I
So,
wouldn't be hanging.
our buddy
Wouldn't be hanging
Matthew Jackson and Ryan Singer and James A. Willis and all you paranormal investigators out there, y'all got to get a Tesla. I think that's the next step, right? Roll up with a Tesla and, see if you can pick up anything on those radar systems. I mean, that's
Just write it
bizarre.
off. Yeah, you just write it off as the ghost hunting tool that you need.
Right, exactly. And
I
like
mean-
last week, what was the UAP jellyfish story where that was captured, couldn't be seen by the naked eye, but it was able to be
Right.
captured on one of these systems,
Right.
I think that was some kind of heat sensor system. But as
It
technology,
was
Infrared?
I think, yeah.
that sounds right.
I think so. Not 100%. I think so.
Yeah. Pretty strange, dude. Pretty strange, bub.
Who would have thought that again,
Not even me or you.
well, if that's the case, then Tesla really should have made a pitch to be in the, newest Ghostbusters as like that was the Ghostbuster car.
Yeah.
Watch. It'll happen
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
They won't give me any credit for it, but it'll happen. I'm just going to
Oh,
say it
man.
now. It just happens. It happens, from time to
Right.
time, but
Right.
too funny.
So good.
What do you think? Well, if you're driving along in that starts popping off, especially if you're in, old Sasquatch Hollow, like when we got off in what was the Daniel Boone National Forest that time. Say we're
Yep.
driving along and that starts kicking off on that little creepy road we were on. No offense,
Yep.
Daniel Boone National Forest might be beautiful in the daytime, but at nighttime it was freaky.
Oh man, we
And there was a little
thought,
graveyard up there.
Yes, we ran into a couple
That
tiny
would have
graveyards.
not been good.
How many tiny graveyards could be in a
wanna know
5-mile
how-
span? A lot. There was like 10 tiny graveyards from, unless they were multiplying in my head and I was scared because at one moment, Bub drove the
It
wrong
could have been
way
Cracker
on-
Barrel too, though.
No,
Maybe it
no,
was the country fried steak from Cracker Barrel.
that was you. That was all you,
It's
bro.
delicious.
We
Yeah.
we were supposed to drive
Shout
to
out,
Columbus.
CB.
And
We did
which
drive
is-
to Columbus. We made
which
it
is Ohio, okay?
Yeah, we made it
Kentucky is not the same direction as Ohio.
there. It was close.
When you're on, it's not. We drove like
We were coming
hundreds
from
of
the
miles. No, you just kept driving, and we
Do you
end
remember
up. in-
you woke up? You remember you woke up and you're like, where the hell are we? You're like, why are we going to Daniel Boone National Forest? I was like, I don't know. It's like, I've been looking for 71 for a long time. I just never saw it.
Oh, dude.
Wasn't there. Couldn't find it.
Yeah, and then we
Oh,
drove
wow.
all the way up through the creepiest old growth forest I've ever seen. And at any moment, it's like if we don't see a Bigfoot, now's the time. There's a UFO that's just gonna hover out of the mist. Some
Yeah, that
Sasquatch
was
is
one of
gonna
the spots
pop
where it was
out.
going to happen. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it didn't happen. So
And you know what? Hey, it probably would have been it would have been an all right time. because,
missing
again,
exit
I
phenomenon.
had a good amount of a delicious meal still on board from Cracker Barrel. Like I said, I'm not going to be mad about it. I was upset that we had to drive a little further out of the way.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Dumb and Dumber, We didn't go a tad in the wrong direction. Rocky Mountains, I thought they'd be rockier. You know what I mean?
That
we
John
didn't go-
Denver's full of shit.
Yeah, we didn't go that hard. We got close though.
Yep.
Had we entered into maybe West Virginia, then I would have probably,
Yeah.
my spidey senses would have started tingling a little bit then. And I'd have been like, we
Yeah.
shouldn't keep going this way.
That's called the MEP, by the way, Chasing Mound Builders Missing Exit Phenomenon, Bub. That's what it'll
Oh.
always be known as. It's, we're
that a
gonna
real thing?
chisel we're gonna chisel that on your
Is that a
grave.
real thing?
MEP.
Is he joking or is that a real? Oh, he's joking.
But we're gonna chisel that on your gravesite because I've
love
been
it.
that trip to California at least 20 times. You missed your exit,
Which
and we
trip?
had to. when we went to California in 2010.
Oh, you and I
was
out to
and I was
California.
your I was your navigator.
Yeah.
And I literally had to tell you within seconds of when to turn right. If I didn't tell you 5 seconds
that
before,
amazing, though?
2
You know,
seconds
that-
before. Bob, literally,
Even-
you
But
turn
at that
now.
time, think about, though, you know what phone I had at that time? It was a phone you sold me.
Yeah,
It was a
Samsung
BlackBerry.
Galaxy.
No, it was a BlackBerry. Was it
No.
BlackBerry? Yeah,
No.
no, it was.
No.
Yeah, it was.
That's old.
Yeah, it
That's
was. No, it was
so
a storm. It was
No.
a storm.
No
yes,
way.
it was.
No way.
Yes, it was.
No way.
I
No,
guarantee.
it was a Samsung Galaxy. The
I
original
had one of those
Samsung
as
Galaxy.
well.
That
I
was
had
it.
one of those.
Okay, agree to disagree. I'm telling you. In this case, you're wrong, but that's okay.
No, not
Okay.
that's the phone I had at the time because we didn't have GPS at the time.
Bet me.
Not
we
in
had
my car.
We had GPS.
I didn't have a good.
I
phone
wasn't
at that
printing
time.
out MapQuest.
You might have.
It was 2010.
I
It's
might
not
have.
like we were living in the dark ages, bro.
You don't realize how recent that was, and how long ago it was,
That was
technologically speaking.
14
The
years
first
ago.
iPhone only came out in 2007.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But never mind. Oh my gosh.
What happened?
I'm glad you guys are enjoying this argument. Cess in the City. We've only gotten to one article so far.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go to the next one. Then.
Here we go. Tom DeLonge. And go. All you, bub.
Ready for this one? I mean, this is just kind of an interesting concept, of maybe, we've been here before and we went extinct for disobeying aliens, basically is the headline from this publication. But this is also old. This is from November of last year. So
Yeah.
it was just kind of something that, creeped back up and got into the zeitgeist of
We
Twitter
never covered
or X
this.
or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
We didn't cover it, yeah. But, he's fairly well known within the community for his To the Stars Academy and all of his kind of ushering in of I don't want to say a changing of the guards, but like he's a rock star coming in, and now he's an information,
Some might
researcher.
say a disinformationist. Not really him, but
You know
but
what?
potentially being used. There's plenty of people in
Useful.
Hollywood in the past, in the 1960s. I can't remember the guy's name, but it's a very similar story. You're contacted by somebody from the intelligence agency. You're a little bit famous. You're already into UFOs. Hey, guess what? You ever heard of this? Come on over to this meeting.
Right.
And that's how it happened with Tom DeLonge. He started
Right.
getting approached by one guy, then another guy. It's like, hey, let's bring you over here. We're going to meet up in this kind of secret location, start
Right.
showing you some documents. So it always seemed kind of weird. Much love to Tom DeLonge, Blink 182.
Right. No, absolutely.
Although Mr. DeLonge, Blink
Oh.
182 canceled the Bunbury Music Festival in 2019, and that was super sad. We were going to shoot Blink 182, but Tom was getting into all the UFO stuff, and he wasn't touring with Blink, and they canceled. They canceled the show. So, man, that was a bummer. I wanted to film Blink 182. But oh well. I'm not going to
You'll
hold it
have
against
that.
you, Tom.
You'll have that. Well, he's got some cool quotes in this article too. That's really more what I'm focusing on, is not really the article itself, but just quotes he had of saying, like, this one of he said they're looking into our minds. So I think he's talking about NHIs or non-human intelligences or EVEs or aliens or however you want to put them in whatever categorization. But he said they're looking into our mind and into our DNA, and then finding out over time maybe these things aren't coming from other planets, meaning the crafts, the beings, whatever. These crafts seem to be doing things in the air that has to do with frequency. And then there's understanding, the universe, the world around us over decades, and we go, oh my God, these things might be coming through time. So he's in just one quote throwing in like time travel, frequency, I would almost equate that to like parallel universes, like the frequency thing. Maybe it's not, but like that's the best I can understand it. If they are here all the time, like the Predator, or they just are there and we can't see them because they're on a different dimensional wavelength, whatever it is.
Right.
That is really what I think about it. But and so they're on a time scale too. Maybe they're just coming through time. Like that's just nuts. But what was the other one? He had a quote in here where he basically says, like, what if we got to a point that they just, we didn't like basically follow along with what they wanted us to do, or we, kind of turned out to be a bad experiment, if you will. Or if you watch Prometheus, that's kind of what they're doing. They're trying to go back and wipe out humanity, you know, and they didn't do a good job at it, or that's what they're getting ready to do. It's a very interesting take, because I always just like to have, you know, the possibility of like, where do these conversations come from? Where do they start? How does he get that idea? Did somebody else give him that idea? Is that something, if we're talking about disseminating information, is that something where like that's just his idea, or is that
he
like
getting
a
that
conversation that's
dropped in his lap? Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't get it. But that was just kind of my takeaway from it. It was just interesting of, okay, well, maybe we're not doing what we should be doing, and they're, you know, either going to go, hey, we're going to wipe the slate clean and start over again.
Yeah.
I mean, think about a painting that, what was it? Is it the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam? They have like different areas where they actually x-ray old paintings of his, and they show you that like there's like 3 or 4 paintings on one canvas, because he'd paint something and you go, well, I'd paint something again, you know, I'd paint something this, until he finally got whatever painting he wanted. But you're not going to get another canvas. You're a poor, starving artist, so you're going to reuse that. Not saying aliens are poor, but you just want to start a new species again. Do you really worry about if there's a ruin here or a settlement there? Or, you know, maybe that's a little bit too bold, but who knows?
I agree.
I mean, why would they go through all the trouble of like clearing all that away? Like, to us, we would be the whole Graham Hancock species of, you know, having the amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
And just not being able to like collectively recall where we're from, how we got here, what's going on, how do we get this intelligent, why is nothing else as smart as us on the surface. Again, I'm not saying dolphins and certain primates and what have you aren't incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of just that takeaway from the article. I wasn't going to really pull it apart too hard.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah.
Do you let's take that next one too, Bub.
Let me go on the next one. So this has also been on X or Twitter a lot lately, if anybody dabbles on that social network. But you've got this from the 30th of January. So just yesterday. And this is from Scientific American. And it's Elon Musk's Neuralink has implanted its first chip in a human brain. What's next? Right? Big question there. I mean, it's interesting. So billionaire technologist Elon Musk announced this week that his company Neuralink has implanted its brain-computer interface into a human for the first time. The recipient was, quote, recovering well. Musk wrote on his social media platform X on Monday evening, adding that initial results showed promising neuron spike detection, which is a reference to brain cells' electrical activity. Each wireless Neuralink device contains a chip and an electrode arrays of more than 1,000 super thin flexible conductors that a surgical robot threads into the cerebral cortex. There, the electrodes are designed to register thoughts related to motion. So in Musk's vision, an app will eventually translate these signals to move a cursor or produce text. It will enable computer control by thinking, basically. And his quote is, imagine if Stephen Hawking could communicate faster than a typist or auctioneer. That is the goal. So if you really take that away, like that's a really interesting thought of, man, what if, even right now, I have to sit here and think and gather my thoughts and put them into this conscious stream to get them out in a, hopefully, an understandable manner. But what if you could just squeeze that brain as, 10 times harder, 1,000 times harder, and you could nearly write a book, like in a vomiting thought, because all of it could be there and coalesce. That's interesting. I never thought of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I did not think of it that way, of like speeding your brain up. Holy cow. That's
right.
Some like Bradley Cooper Limitless shit right there.
Mm-hmm.
U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA, had approved human clinical trials for Neuralink in May 2023. And last September, the company announced it was opening enrollment in its first study to people with quadriplegia. So that's awesome. Monday's announcement did not take neuroscientists by surprise. Musk, the world's richest man, said he was going to do it. Quote, says John Donahue, an expert in brain-computer interfaces at Brown University. He had done and this is another quote from John Donahue, quote, he had done the preliminary work built on the shoulders of others, including what we did starting in the early 2000s, which, to that end, it's where a lot of advancements come anymore. We're not, reinventing the wheel. You hear that a lot. Like, don't reinvent the wheel. Why would you reinvent the wheel? We've already got that. Build upon it, add to it, sharpen the blade. We already know how to make a blade. Make a better blade. But anyhow, Neuralink's original ambitions, which Musk outlined when he founded the company in 2016, included meshing human brains with artificial intelligence. Its more immediate aim seems in line with the neural keyboards and other devices that people with paralysis already use to operate computers. So kind of take, something that we already know how to do and advancing it, right? So I think the old ones were done by eyesight. Like, they would literally be able to, like, pick up where they were. I think that's how it's done. I could be terribly wrong. But just to map that in the brain and then go, how do we do that? Where are we going to have to put all these probes? That's really interesting.
Yeah. And Chasing Moundbitter says, what about that DARPA stuff that is like an avatar program? Heard about that. Maybe Neuralink has some kind of application in that arena. I mean, the applications for that are unbelievable.
I haven't heard about that. What do you mean, the avatar?
Where they're trying to basically, it's a Ray Kurzweil, where they're trying to take human consciousness and put it into a body, essentially. So after your body dies, you can take your consciousness and send it into another body. The Ray Kurzweil, I think it was like 2025 initiative.
Oh, like the whole Futurama, like the head in the glass jar of fluid and
yeah, RoboCop by 2030.
I don't know. I mean, would you take your brain out, or you're just saying it maps your brain that much that your consciousness basically transcends to that computer chip, like Johnny Depp in whatever that film is, where he downloads himself or some shit.
It's like
I don't remember how that went. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, that stuff's been around a while already. Like, to get a decision-making tree, not a true, like, copy of a person, but to get somebody's decision-making process or algorithmic thinking, that's been done. I think here in town at Battelle. Like a long time ago.
Talk about Battelle a little bit if you want to disappear.
I don't know.
You want to disappear?
They make some crazy stuff over there. They do some wild things.
We had a friend that we grew up with that actually worked at one of their laboratories for a decent amount of time, the chimpanzee laboratory, and it's quite a hellscape from what I understand of what they're doing to with researching bioweapons and think Stranger Things, think the corporation in Stranger Things. That's kind of what Battelle is, and they work very closely with Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Big government contract, probably one of the largest government contractors in the United States. But who knows what's going on? I hear they've got some underground things happening, of course. Hey, local legends, Mr. Burton Moran, dude, thank you so much for that super sticker, super
Burton,
chat.
thank you,
Appreciate you, brother.
Amazing.
And Burton, we got your poster, dude. Got your poster. I haven't completely pulled it out and unraveled it just yet. When we're all down here ready to sign, we're going to ship that back to you. Can't wait. But just want to let you know, we got your poster, brother. And Burton's sent us a poster to sign. A bunch of his favorite podcasters are all going to sign it. So thank you so much for including us in that.
That's really cool.
Incredible.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I didn't know you said we had a poster from Burton. I was like, oh, cool. We'll put a poster up. I didn't realize it was that.
Yeah.
That's way cooler.
Yep, it's in the tube right down there. Looking
Quick
good,
question,
fellas.
Mikey.
Yeah.
Mikey.
Yes.
How close do you think I am to being correct about my theory?
Which theory?
Way back where I was like, we're going to have to get these brain chips because there's so much information. Like, if we want to become these, like, sentient beings and, like, know how to fly a flying saucer, like, we're going to need to, like, pack all this info in and then, like, grow off of that. Again, standing on the shoulders of giants. Like, we can't.
No, I get you. But what did we talk about with Amel just on Monday?
Oh, fair point.
What did we just talk about with Amel? Is it going into
the paradigm?
the
the paradigm that we're in the tech paradigm right now.
We are.
We're not in the ancient tech paradigm. We could, but that
move in a different direction. That's what she's saying is we have all the answers internally. We don't need it downloaded into a Neuralink. We have way more. We have access to the Akashic Records, which is beyond Google, which is beyond AI. You're talking about 30, 50,000, who knows how many years of
I get it, but how do you get that as a repeatable tech that you teach everybody?
you
not
can't.
just one or two people that knows how to do it.
Well, it's going to take schools. Once you start creating that type of
But
civilization,
that's what I'm
now
saying. Like,
you
this
build
is
the
where
temples to walk into a place like that, and
I
then
get
you're
it.
looking
I
around
get it.
going, "Hey, this
get
is
it.
the new, Play-Doh and the."
I get it. My question is adoption of that lifestyle thought process. How do you go from where we're at now to getting that?
It's a great question.
Like,
I don't know the answer to.
that's why I say we're
But
in this paradigm already. We're already on
that
this
reality.
course.
I like that reality.
I'm not saying I don't.
Yeah.
I
get
if I
it.
say what would you rather prefer, I get that. But I'm saying currently what we're in and where we're going with it, man. Like, because again, I think what freaked me out most there was just saying like, oh, we just try to like basically amplify somebody's thoughts and ability to get those out like even faster and more. So it's just like,
Yeah.
it's kind of freaky. It just blows my mind. I think it's all just too much anymore. Maybe I just need to take like, a good solid 2.5 year nap and hopefully nothing changes in that time. And then I can just deal with what's changed. There's just too much happening all the time. It's just nonstop. Or maybe I'm just feel that way. I don't know.
It's a
Maybe
lot.
it's not.
It's a lot, man.
There's
We get
always something
overwhelmed.
strange happening.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why
Right.
we started this show, right?
I'm telling you.
Hey, Chasing Mound Builders also mentions the ARE, the Edgar Casey Institution. Are you familiar with that, Bub?
I'm
Virginia?
aware. I'm fairly aware of Edgar Casey. It's in Virginia. I didn't
So
know that. We should go down there.
It's the institute where it's an archive of all of his readings and all of his work that's been documented for all
very
that
cool.
time, where it talks about Atlantis, it talks about the Mayans, ancient civilizations, a whole lot of other things.
Nice.
Man, we must be majorly here. Something weird's going on with the stream.
I don't know what
Interesting.
happened.
Yeah, I don't either.
What happened?
I have no idea.
Well,
I
what do you?
must not be
I'm
in
asking
live
what's
chat.
weird. That's why.
So on the stream, it's showing. Never mind. That's okay. Moving on. Still getting this little system down, guys. Bear with us.
Oh, okay. That's what I was like. What happened?
But yeah, it's showing the Tom DeLonge article for some reason on their end on the live stream. Okay, everything seems to be fine. Perfect. Maybe YouTube's feeding me back something old. Not sure. All right, cool.
I have no idea. Yeah.
Let's hit this next one. We've got this is from Colin Rugg, and this is a Twitter post that Bub found. And
Yeah.
Colin is, let me just hit that merge. Bam. There we go. So this is so this is an article that basically homeless people are moving underground. They're moving into cave systems, and this isn't the only thing we're going to be covering right now. I just find this fascinating for whatever
I did too.
reason.
Yes. Same.
Because of, the ancient civilizations like Derin Kuyu in Turkey and some of these places where, people have dug down in these cave systems during who knows what. Maybe there was a flood.
Right.
Maybe there was a meteor, and they, the ant people story, all these stories throughout history. And then here we are in modern days. We have homeless people, whatever you want to call them, moving undergrounds and setting up shop. When I say setting up shop, I'm talking amenities, folks. I'm talking chairs, couches. They got shelves. They got cooking utensils down there. We're going to take a look at this here. And
It's pretty
let's
legit.
make that big.
I've covered a lot of homeless stories
Just
in the
make sure you guys
past, but
can
I've
hear
never
that.
seen such elaborate infrastructure for encampments. It starts with these makeshift steps that lead about 20 feet down below to where these caves are hidden. You can't even see them from up above, and that's likely why they went undetected for so long.
Hidden homeless caves tucked along the Tuolumne River in Modesto.
These are basically stairs that they made to get down to the dwelling.
Tracy Rojas took us on the treacherous walk to see the craters created near Crater Avenue.
And if one of these were to collapse, it would be devastating. This whole side would come down and into the water.
7,600 pounds of trash.
That's not safe.
That's how much was cleared out by volunteer groups and police over the
Look
weekend.
at that.
So this was fully furnished.
Yes, there was bedding, there was little things up on the mantle, lack of a better word, mantle.
Hey, can I get a QP?
Food items.
Can I get a QP? Quick pause.
dry
Yeah,
Pause.
sure.
QP. Quick pause. QP.
Yep.
Sorry, that's an ambiguous term that we haven't really worked on yet. But how about we got tunnels here? We've got tunnels in New York. We've got tunnels.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on? I'm getting concerned. Like, do I need to start worrying where we're at? That we're just going to have a subterranean cult? Like in
Again.
culture that is just down below your feet? Like, and that sounds so terrible because, like, again, are we living in freaking Demolition Man?
Yeah.
Like, the people
think
are
we're
living
getting
into
there.
the streets, and
I think we're getting
next thing
there.
you know, it's just Taco Bell everywhere.
Dude, Demolition Man, great reference, by the way.
Right?
I haven't thought about
Right?
that movie in a long time, but you're right. This
a great
might be
movie.
the beginnings of Demolition Man. Very,
We're
very,
close.
very good.
We're close. I mean, I can't believe that movie came anywhere close to being real.
Right.
That's the weirder part about it.
Isn't it? All right, let's hit this.
Wow.
And you guys had a great question. How did they even find those? I think they do actually mention that, so here we go.
Had a hard time
Yeah,
figuring
go
out how
for
they
it.
got so much stuff down in there, considering how hard
Hobbit
it
holes.
was. It's always harder to get it up the hill and get it out.
Chris
what
Guptill
she
was
said.
one of these volunteers who says they found 8 caves in total, but it wasn't the group's first time down here.
And we really don't have a known solution to deal with it.
In November 2022, CBS 13 took a tour of the cleared out caves, nowhere near as elaborate as they are now.
You can see the hooks on the wall where they had bottles and things like that hanging down.
Painted pictures and even a makeshift fireplace.
That's a good one.
This was someone's home.
What do you think needs to be done to stop this from happening?
Well, I think we need more emphasis on the homeless. I mean, they're at the point where you can see, Tori, that they're desperate.
We asked Modesto police and the city what's being done to prevent people from coming back to cave camp.
Modesto.
The response?
Right, dude, I
They'll
about
continue
lost
to
it. That
monitor
was
the
so
area
freaking
Dancing
and
lights,
connect the
you're
homeless
amazing.
to services.
Meth
It's already been proven that people are willing to dig those things out, so I don't think filling them back in with any material would work.
The caves cleared for now, but the neighborhood near the river feeling no real sense of peace in this problem.
It's a hazard for not only the homeless who live in there, but the people who are
Right.
walking up here.
Erosion, rising waters,
Wow, there you go, guys. I mean, come on. What are we talking about here? These caves, so how did they find them? I think people were just from another
live
part that
here.
I read.
Take the bike path.
Yeah,
Right around
exactly.
Columbus on the bike path.
Well, you see, you hear people scurrying around at night. Why are they walking up and down the riverbank? You know, there's enough traffic where they had created their own stair steps, which we used to do at the crick. Remember
Sure.
at the crick?
Sure.
You and your brothers would
Oh, yeah.
carve stair steps and use the root systems and go down. You know,
Do what
that's,
you needed to do.
Yeah, that's you know, typical crick activity, buddy.
Yeah, but not as. I mean, that's like Peter Pan and Neverland collided with California. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick. You know, I get it. Like, if I was homeless and I was looking for someplace warm, and
Yeah.
I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah, and I feel
Doesn't
bad.
Come to that, you know.
I feel
and some
bad
people
that-
like not being bound to society. Some people want
Yep.
to not have a job
And, hey,
tax returns, this,
more
that. They
power-
just want to
more power
live
to
and
you.
be. And I remember there's a really good story about back in the day for the climbing culture in Yosemite, I want to say, that there was this dude that basically lived in the woods. And like the rangers would always try to like follow him and find him and like basically get him because he was just living in Yosemite, like on the land. And he would walk so slow that they would like try to follow him that eventually he would just lose them. Like they would try to trail him and like not let him know, like they were trying to watch him where he was went.
Yeah.
He'd always just like disappear and somehow like elude them. But you know, I guess what I'm trying to highlight is there are certain people that, you know, they don't want to be, again, doing a 9 to 5 and paying a mortgage and whatever else. Like they kind of want to go that route. So I can see how they're like, hey, look, here's an opportunity. Let's carve this out.
Some people homestead in a really remote place in the beautiful mountains.
That I can get down with too.
Some people dwell in underground tunnels in cities. in riverbeds. Not everybody trying to get off the grid is going that nice, I'm going to have goats and I'm going to plant me a nice garden and I'm going to build myself a log cabin. No, we're going Darren Kuyu on your ass. And we're going in. So this next one dovetails perfectly with this because here you go, Bub. Amazing. You're talking, oh my God, there's so many underground things about articles and bunkers and bases and all this stuff. So we have with you guys, let's hit that. And this is from abcnewsnow.com, and this is written by Gary Dembski. And it says, shine a light takes, I wanted to turn to dust, Las Vegas homeless tell of primal life underground in 600 miles of city tunnels. Okay,
that's insane.
So they're asking, what drives the homeless into living in tunnels in Vegas? What pulls them out?
In Vegas? Probably Vegas. They went there and lost it all, and they're like, well, I guess I'm going to just crawl under the man cover here. And next thing you know, they're like, there's another club? It's a little dirtier, a little duck buttery. I'm just starting to think of The Hangover going from like on the surface level of Vegas to like the 600 miles underground of Vegas.
There you go.
That needs to be the next Hangover.
That's
they
Hangover
end up in the underground,
3 or 4.
whatever it is. That's Hangover and Mad Max.
Yep. So Robert
Demolition Man.
Yeah, 100%. God, we need to rewatch that. Do a little watch party. Watch some Demolition Man.
Oh, Wesley Snipes in that.
So Robert Banghart as one of the answers. Not all, just some. In the past 7 months, his crew of volunteers has pulled 220 people from the violence and desolation of cave-like living, up from 80 for all of the past year. So
insane.
The year before that, they pulled out 80 less people than this year. So it's going up and up and up. Here's a nice little photo for you guys. So every Saturday for 4 years, he and about 60 to 80 volunteers in groups of 6 to 8 slink into the tunnels, caves, flooded canals, and freeway underpasses, handing out peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, bottled water, and first aid kits, and other items of survival like socks. Socks are extremely popular with tunnel dwellers, which makes perfect sense. You got, your house socks get a little wet. You got to get a freshy pair. You're walking around in duck butter. It's just, you got to have clean feet, man. You'll get swamp foot, which I've had, and walked around Bonnaroo for 3 days with it. Don't recommend doing that.
Well, you don't want to get a staph infection.
Yeah, that's what I had. The doctor was like, what do you mean you walked around Bonnaroo for 3 days with this? I was like, I just thought somebody stepped on my foot really hard. He's like, no, you're going to die if you don't.
No. That's your body telling you bad things are happening.
And it hurt. But you know what? I was bound and determined to see Snoop Dogg. And after I saw Snoop Dogg, I finally went to the hospital. So there you go. I was quite obsessed.
I remember being at a local community picnic because I didn't go to Bonnaroo. I think I had just gotten back from a trip, and this is before text, I think, even happened. I didn't have text back then. And I was getting reports back that you had an infection on your foot or something. It was just like, what is happening? I thought you were at a music festival.
It's basically trench foot, like what people in the Vietnam War would get sloshing around in jungles.
It's
like
swamp
that's
foot,
what I had.
Yeah.
It's swamp foot. Yeah.
It's basically
I wore wet shoes, slightly damp shoes.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Hey, I thought they were dry, bud. They weren't dry.
You got to put fresh socks on.
They were damp. They were fresh. I had great socks, but my shoes, because it poured. So we moved our campground all the way, probably it's like a mile and a half. So back in the day, you could move your campsite right up front, which is what Brozone started out as. Brozone was a small campsite Brozone that was all the way up front, where we would basically move all of our stuff up there, pop-up tents, everything, and it was camping only. You couldn't have a car up there. So if you wanted to take all your crap and move it, you could. So first day, it's pouring, bro. And we're slogging our stuff all the way a mile and a half. Somebody brought a full grill on wheels. I'm like, you guys are idiots. Like, you can't bring... So We had to carry this grill like a mile and a half
Jesus Christ.
in the rain. I'm carrying the propane tank. A pony keg of beer, which, was in the wagon. Like we
This
couldn't
was the
carry
year
it.
you got swamp foot?
Yeah.
Well, are you
It
surprised?
was, no, not at all. Not at all. But that's why my foot was what my
Like,
my
if I was a
shoes-
palm reader and you told me what you were packing to go to Bonnaroo, I might be like, swamp foot. I see swamp foot.
I see it in the cards. I see it in the tea leaves.
I've been listening to episodes about John D. and scrying and who's the other guy?
Edward Kelly.
Edward Kelly.
Yeah.
Do some scrying about Bonnaroo.
Yeah.
I see swamp foot. Yeah.
Your future, sir. It's like, I just thought somebody stepped on my foot. Nope.
No, that's
Full on.
full on infecto.
Yeah.
Well,
And
what
it
else
hurt
about
really
the
bad.
Las? Yeah, what else about the Las Vegas?
So we only really read 3 sentences before we got sidetracked. So there's
okay.
more.
Do we need to revisit?
We got into wet socks and swamp foot, and here we
Fair
go.
enough.
We'll jump right back in. These safety checks are one step and a path out, a way of making connections, building relationships with members of a population that's leery of normal, protective people and what is theirs, and often, unpredictably, they're violent. So there's 600 miles of tunnels in Las Vegas, and there's around 1,500 people living underground. And so the director of Shine a Light Foundation, which is a nonprofit focused on the Las Vegas homeless, he says, but everyone in there is a life, someone worth saving, which I totally agree.
Sure.
We have addiction, mental illness, broken family units. These are some of the common themes. Some of the common themes in the lives of the Las Vegas tunnel dwellers. Banghart, 46, knows firsthand too. He lived in the tunnels until about 4 years ago. A savage beating started his path out, he says. I got hit in the head with an axe, split my skull, beaten with a pipe, and my jaw broken. Banghart says, I almost died twice. The people at the Freedom... here we go.
Holy
Gosh darn it.
hell.
You guys need to yell at me when I don't have the article up. Bub, again, you're not
Well,
yelling
I'm
at
not,
you're not yelling at me when I need
on the
you, bud.
stream.
Yeah.
Sorry,
You're not watching it.
I'm looking at it, but I'm looking at the chat too. I wasn't even thinking about the article being up. I guess I should.
Well,
I
there's
never
a
think
photo.
about it.
Yeah, I don't know how long that wasn't up. That's okay though.
That's
hey,
right.
we're still dialing this in.
We're learning.
I love learning, especially technology. This is fun. It's a lot more relaxed, this format, which is really fun. Oh, you know what? Darn it, Stoner. Where'd you go, Stoner? He already left. Hang on.
What'd you do?
Here we go.
What's going on? What happened?
There. The background's moving now, right? Is the background... You guys see the lightning bugs moving? Ha ha! What you think about that?
There you go. Yeah.
You like that, Bub?
No, I got it. I see it happening.
There you go. That's
good job.
I just had to hit play. So the people at Freedom House Sober Living, another Las Vegas nonprofit, pulled him out, got him into a hospital. Banghart credits Paul Vatriana, which is the director of Shine a Light, for his recovery. But after prison, 67 trips to rehab and primal living underground, Banghart had many reasons to say enough. Wow, 67 rehabs, boy. For Donica Martinez,
67.
yeah,
That's dedication.
it's unfortunate.
It works if you work it.
Yeah, well,
You gotta keep working it.
I think you need to move underground. That's actual rock bottom.
I
You
mean,
know,
this makes
That's real.
this
rock
makes
bottom.
this makes living in a van down by the river just seem like, glamping.
Almost right. Well,
Like, give me the
some
government cheese.
Some of these places are nice though, dog. I mean, they got them pimped out down here.
Bro, I don't care. I'm not going underground where the daily, law might be somebody beating you with an axe, splitting your. I'm not, again, that could happen up here. However, hopefully it's less like. That's just too weird for me. Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm with you, man.
Imagine.
I'm with you.
I'm just saying I'm already dreaming up too many weird scenarios of people getting lured into the tunnels and never coming back out. Like,
Right.
I'm gonna turn my GPS signal on.
So here you go. Donica Martinez, age 42, removed from the tunnels for 5 months in August. The gift of despair was her way out. Addiction and prostitution sent Martinez underground. I was trafficked, she says. I had a pimp, and he completely controlled my life for 14 years. Then he chased me for another 3 after that. That's a dedicated
Jesus.
pimp, sir.
Yeah,
and that's how
too much work.
And that's how I got into the tunnels. So she's on the run from her pimp and ends up in the tunnels, probably, clearly to hide out and to get away from him. So Martinez, who has lived in Las Vegas for 20 years, took to the tunnels to shake free from her stalking pimp. My addiction kept me there. So then she just, it's an open air drug market. Most of these encampments, at least here in Columbus where we live, these tent cities are really just
pretty lax regulations around them. Yeah,
there's not any regulations.
No one's really wearing a badge or keeping law and order. You're not seeing Elliot Stabler out there.
Oh God!
Sorry, too deep.
Yeah,
deep cut.
it's pretty loose. A little loose. Her father's death in October of 2021, started on her path out. She took all sorts of drugs, was once pistol whipped, and in that gift of despair, ended up on the side of a railroad track in triple-digit heat. She found the drugs did a little to ease the pain of her father's death. And that primal existence, insignificant gratification in finding food, water, shelter, or the next fix, was taking its toll. She was dirty, alone, tired, and lost. I mean, that is rock bottom. I felt I was a lost cause, she says. I wanted to just lay down in the dirt and turn into dust. Wow. It's poetic. That's poetic.
Just resilience, man.
But hey, wish her all the best. Wish all of these cave dwellers and people underground.
Cave dwelling. That's still blowing my mind.
It's a long road, but that's about as rock bottom as you can get. Whew, that was an intense one. We're going to shift gears here a little bit. Now, next one is pretty freaking awesome. And this guy has a couple videos I actually want to show you. I'm going to kind of fumble around through this maybe a little bit, so bear with me, guys. Merch. So this is from YouTuber Crystal Palace Lantron, or at Lantron. I tagged you in our episode for Strange Happenings, brother. So thank you for all the work you're doing out there. We're going to keep the underground theme going here, guys, the cave theme. Now, this is very strange. The video is titled Sealed Portal Straight into the Mountain Close-Up of the South American Polygon
military bases.
Melted Stone, USA. So if you guys remember, I don't know, at least 3 or 4 Strange Happenings ago when we covered the gentleman that was up in the mountains and he was filming these weird stone doors, and there was a giant, from what he said, that was peeping through these peepholes. Bub, do you remember this? Am I jogging your memory?
I don't remember a giant peeping through the peepholes.
It was a giant stone door, and he said that there was a being looking through this peephole out.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, these big giant eyes, and this door was huge, enormous. So why are these weird stone doors popping up all over the place? Now, I'm not saying a giant lives here or anybody lives in this thing, but it sure is freaking strange.
Like I said, they're the deep underground military bases. They put the doors on the mountains and stuff.
Yes, exactly. Well, maybe that's what this is too.
Well,
here we go.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's something else.
You guys see that okay?
Perfectly sealed portal.
He's calling them portals. I don't know about that, but
it's almost like a porch.
Porch, sure, I get down with that.
Protecting it. It literally looks like something out of The Hobbit.
Yep.
Lore. And as you can see, it has every perfect point. Look at that. I know. It's perfect size for the ant people.
Oh, ant people reference. How about that?
Right.
So you got giants, you got ant people.
you guys
Or
just protect
It's
me
really
by
cool.
watching with me. And
I'm gonna mute him. Or it's natural stone that's kind of chipped away and fallen away, and who knows? But it is interesting. It does kind of look like a door. Now I want to show you guys this, and I'm gonna bring me and Bub in. Bub, if you want to just entertain everybody for a second while I get this second
What's
one
up?
queued up.
Yeah. Are you getting another video ready?
Yeah.
I see. That's the one I've
Spanish
seen before.
trout.
That's the one you showed me. That's the YouTube
It's
short.
titled. Here we go. I got it.
Yep.
Okay, stand by. Let me just
Copy.
make sure. Shoot. That's not
Did you
the right
lose
one.
it?
Yeah. Yeah, just hang out with the chat for a little bit. While
Do you want me to send it to you? Here.
No, it's not the one you're thinking of.
Oh, okay. It's a different one. Well, all right then. Fine. Well, hang on.
Here we go. All right, got it. This is interesting. Okay, here we go, guys. Boop. Merge.
about a mile and a half down from that site, found this giant slab here up in the cliffs again. And it's just absolutely huge, several tons. It's completely separated from the cliff. But here's the weird part. The weird part is it's completely resting and balanced on that rock, which is super tiny, right in there. It's really weird. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. I mean,
yeah, I don't know what to think about that. I don't know if that was the one that I was thinking of, but anyways, it was one of his shorts. The shorts just don't look great on screen.
That's what I have.
But
I have the short I was going to give
right,
you.
that's fine. But I'm gonna find the
Yeah,
one.
it's
that
not the one you were talking about. Still,
No,
I
this
got
is
you.
still a different one.
How many videos do you got of this? A lot.
Well, this guy's got some.
That's good. I'm glad that there's documentation.
So Jesus Pion Jr. was sending me some pretty strange images of all the way across on this property, where in the distance on the side of these mountains, just where nobody goes, and seeing these structures, these right angles, they look like doorways, they look like, some kind of porthole, they look like, some of them look like altars, but really weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Almost like a Stargate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Interesting. I like it. I dig it. Like I said, man, I like seeing those videos where people are up in the mountains, whether it's, kind of the whole Dulce feel or this or that, but they're like,
Yep.
hey, look, there's a door in this mountain. And like legit door, like that's where it's like, is that a government operation going on there, or is there really a battle?
All right, you guys.
Wasn't there a effort to train soldiers in subterranean warfare like a couple of years ago? I remember that being a really weird article coming out, or story, conversation, talking point of like,
Yeah.
wait, what are we trying to do? We're trying to learn how to fight underground? Like, what? You sound a lot like Phil Snyder there, buddy.
Yep. Exactly.
And that's a dude right there that is almost... He's close to just not existing anymore in the conversations. Every now and then he still gets brought up, but people just aren't really well aware of him. And like,
Yeah.
he had a good documentary about him. His daughter was in on.
Yep.
That was because his story, dude, it was too.
It is.
Too wild.
So I found the video.
Do it.
It's a short, but let's just watch it quick. It's interesting. Here we go.
well, you can see closest I've ever gotten, and still absolutely huge. There's like a porch
Wow.
off to the front of it,
It's a weird one, right?
bunch of rocks, and it almost looks like it like rolls into the cliff.
It's weird, man. I'm
See,
not saying it's
it's
anything.
incredible.
I'm just like, I've never seen anything like that hiking in the mountains,
Join
where
us
it looks
No.
like a clear
We're gonna be, trying to
door,
hike up there today.
like,
I
right
gotta
angle.
go
Right,
across this
right.
river, which is-
I don't know.
But
To me,
there's
it's-
also a lot of gems and minerals that grow in like very geometrical patterns and shapes and
And
do
they
things
chip
that
away.
we would not,
Right.
expect and
Yeah.
what have you. So
Yeah.
have to say
Exactly.
that it is very interesting. It's very strange. I don't know what to make of it, but
Yeah.
wild. Wild. I'm glad people are out there doing the work, though, man. That's great.
Yeah, he's just out there hiking around like, hey, this looks weird. You know, kind of like
awesome.
Michael Collins from Wandering Wolf and
Right.
Will and some of the video stuff that they're doing. It's
Right.
just like, hey, here I am at this weird thing. You make your
Well,
decision.
it's a crowdsourcing, right? Like,
Come out here.
everybody's
check it
going
out.
out and filming it, and you have your opinion. Somebody else goes out and film it. But even if you do that, you might still get something that, just everybody going and still putting eyes on it. That's going to open up the discourse for it, and hopefully
Yeah.
somebody will full-on research it and fund it and figure it out, But until then, it's open for debate.
Giant door research. I'll be on the ground with
Hey,
that.
dude, deep underground military bases. I'm all on board for that kind of stuff. I don't know that I'd ever want to find one. I think
Yeah.
that'd turn me into some kind of experiment.
Yep.
But, anyways.
Born Not to Run, you're killing it, dude. Our mod, Born Not to Run, killing it. Thank
Crushy
you, sir.
Crusherson.
That's what's up.
Crushing
Here
it.
we go. Bub, I'll let you do this one. This one's good.
There you go.
This is the 3 Kansas City Chiefs fans found frozen to death in friend's backyard.
Yep. And that's just kind of bizarre, but yeah.
Andrea
This
Blanco.
happened fairly quick, too. Yeah, it's from the Independent. The remains of 3 Missouri men were found in a backyard after they reportedly froze to death following a visit to the friend's home to celebrate a Kansas City Chiefs victory. Law enforcement in Kansas City, they're investigating the deaths of the 3 gentlemen after they were found outside a home. Address isn't important at the moment, but 2 of the bodies were discovered in the backyard, and 1 was found on the porch of the residence 2 days after they were last seen. So this gets really interesting. So police said foul play is not suspected and the deaths are not being investigated as homicides, but the circumstances surrounding the fatalities remain unclear. The 3 men arrived at the home of their friend Jordan Willis shortly after 9 p.m. on the 7th of January to celebrate a game that saw the Kansas City Chiefs, beat the Las Vegas Raiders. So Mr. Willis reportedly went to bed and had no knowledge that his friends had died until police showed up at his door on the 9th of January, which is 2 days later, and he eventually found the remains. So for 2 days, if you were just that hungover, you didn't get out of bed, whatever. We'll surmise this later, but although a cause and manner of death have not been confirmed, pending an autopsy, John Pacherno, an attorney for Mr. Willis, said the men seemingly died by hypothermia. That weekend, Kansas City saw below freezing temperatures, reach down to the teens, so it was really cold, and I remember it being really cold around here. So he also said it was a mystery how the 3 bodies went undiscovered for 2 days. Quote, Jordan had absolutely nothing to do with their deaths. He does not know the timing or manner of their deaths, nor does he know how or when they exited his house. He had no knowledge that they remained in his backyard or that they needed medical attention. According to his attorney, Mr. Willis was unaware that loved ones had been trying to locate his 3 missing friends. Although 2 cars that belonged to his friends were parked in his street, Mr. Willis didn't notice the cars because they were not parked in his driveway. Quote, 2 people came to his house, however, he did not hear them as he sleeps with earbuds and a loud fan. One of those people, the wife of one of the deceased, tried to reach him via Facebook Messenger. Unfortunately, he did not see the message until after the police contacted him. Kansas City Police Department is still investigating whether alcohol or drugs were involved, which, maybe they were, but game? I don't know that.
You can't get that hammered. You got to be on some serious.
They did tell Fox News that Mr. Willis had been cooperative with the investigation, and he was not considered. So, quote, first and foremost, this case is 100% not being investigated as a homicide, Captain Bakina said. There have not been any arrests or charges, and no one is in custody. There are no specific threats or concerns for the surrounding community at this time.
Let's break this down. Let's break this down a little bit.
Break it down.
Well,
wow.
There's a couple things here. That's, hey, I thought my friends left. I have no reason to look in my backyard. Or, he let his dog out apparently. But, hey, at my house, when my dog wants to go outside, I'm not sitting there investigating my backyard. I open that door. Hurry up, Rolo. Get out there. Do your business. Get back in the house because I know you're going to be full of mud because all it's doing is raining right now here.
Yeah.
And so I'm not paying attention. I'm wigging out about, God, now I have to clean your paws again for the 10th time today. because
Right.
we're all home on the weekend. So I get it, but it's also
I have a really small
how
backyard.
did they get back there?
What do you mean?
You know what I mean? How did these guys get back there?
I would have to see what his yard looked like. I don't understand. Like, is this a yard where, like, from the front of the house to the back of the house, you can't get to the yard unless you, like, when we were in California at the time, where it was like, there's no getting to the next house over yard. Like, you got to run around the entire block. Like, does this guy live in the sticks? I'd have to see it to understand, because, like,
Yeah.
where we grew up, you can get to the backyard, just walk around the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but
and
my
Flut's-
backyard now, I got a small backyard. I'm gonna see you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see you.
Right. And Flutz was saying that he's like a pharmacist, or I don't want to get that wrong. But yeah, the guy's like some kind of scientist or researcher or something, which was kind of strange. I think I have a different link where it actually shows that. It's
because you had a little bit of extra
an original,
from the stores.
Yeah, a little something. Who knows?
Yeah.
You can only speculate. But man, is this a really bizarre
I don't like to
story?
speculate. Yeah, it's very strange, just for the fact of like how many people like you got cars down the street of your friends.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He sleeps
Yeah,
with a loud fan and with earbuds in. Like, that seems egregious. Like, I don't like to hear noises, but I sleep with a fan. I might put earplugs in, but
Right.
I'm gonna wait. I don't know. I'm gonna hear you pounding on the door after a while, probably, or I don't know. I also have to consider that there are people out there that aren't like me at all, and maybe they wouldn't have noticed this or wouldn't have noticed that, because I notice a lot of things that I don't even want to notice.
Yeah.
I notice way too much. So I get it. Some people are pleasantly aloof, which, God, I wish I could be as much. But
yeah, if their
there's
cars
something
are still
to
out
this.
front,
There's something here.
Mhm.
There's something. I don't care if they're saying he's not a person of interest. They might
Right.
be just saying that so he doesn't run. Who knows?
Right. Like
I
Sess
mean,
in the City said, two of them, how did the guy not see them or look down the
Right.
road or
Right.
look for them when
Em-
their cars
Em is
were
saying-
out front? When their
Em
cars
is
are out
saying
front.
Breaking Bad for rich white folks.
Yeah.
Is that what you think? I mean, I don't know, because it's weird. It's really, really strange, and it doesn't make sense. And it's one of those that you kind of go, maybe if it just makes it through the news cycle headline, how fast can it get out of the big headlines, you know? If it can get down to the local level and suppress it, then it can go away. I don't want to get too conspiratorial with it, but, you know, again, if it is something that small town.
Here you go. Born Not to Run. Temperatures were -4 degrees Fahrenheit to kick off last Saturday evening. So did those guys just stumble back there and quickly froze to death? I mean, huh? They'd have to be back there for a while, though, even to just.
I don't think you freeze to death
freeze
that
to death.
fast.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's what he's saying, but I'm just thinking, did they get back there? And were they already dead, and then their bodies froze?
Yeah. Well, Seth is saying,
like
though,
you
that
said,
the photo where these bodies were in the chairs was right by a big window and a door. Be hard to miss.
It'd be tough to miss.
Hey,
it's hard to
honey,
speculate.
did you know? I'll say this. My father apparently didn't notice when I got into a little fender bender in high school, but my mom did right away. So just saying what people notice and what they don't notice. However, I will contest that maybe he just didn't want to notice.
And Flood says if they passed out and then froze, good point. But it's weird that all three of them together
Who's going
would do
outside
that.
in that freaking weather to pass out and freeze?
I don't know. I don't know.
Especially in a trio, like
together,
hey.
and we all just die.
Oh no!
And
Necro said, "Sounds like what's happening in True Detective season 4." Don't tell
me.
I gotta watch it yet. Stop! No spoilers.
You know what?
Stop!
Oh
no,
my
I don't know. So stop!
No.
Just stop!
I didn't even put that together. Necro, you just freaked me out. I've only watched the
cat.
It's only 2 episodes, bud. Calm down. You can't stream the whole season.
I don't know anything about it yet.
What do you mean?
I've not watched an episode.
Your girl's in it. You don't know anything about it?
I don't want to know anything about it yet. I know it's good.
I
know one thing about it.
Clarice.
That's all I know.
You know Jodie
He said
Foster's
cigarettes are a hell of a drug.
Yeah, if you're chain smoking a whole pack at once.
Yeah. Used to smoke a lot of cigarettes.
Yes.
That's a weird story. I think we're going to hear more coming about this. My gut instinct tells me this isn't over.
Right.
It's going to get stranger before it stops.
Man, I can't wait to go home
There
and watch
you
the
go.
new episode of season 4 of True Detective when I get home. Oh, he's an HIV scientist. Thank you, all one same, whose 3 Kansas City Chiefs friends froze to death. Yes, outside his home. Checks into
Is
rehab.
that a real thing?
Oh,
the last thing?
Hang on.
All
wait,
one
let me
same?
see if I can find that.
Is
Read that,
real?
Bub.
Real clip?
Read it, Bub.
So what he's saying in the chat, he or she, I'm not sure, all one same, says a HIV scientist whose 3 Kansas City Chiefs friends froze to death
Daily
outside
Mail.
his home,
Okay.
checks into rehab after realizing he had a problem with addiction.
Yeah.
So that right there would explain
Makes a lot of sense.
sleeping through somebody beating on the door,
Yep.
this and that. You might need to wear headphones and this and that to sleep. Like, Flutz, to your
Daily
point,
Mail. Here it is.
they were probably out there. Jeez,
Here, let's go through this.
I mean,
Bub.
all you
wanna,
need is a.
You want to
all
read
you
this,
need is
Bub?
yeah, where's it at?
I
have
can
it.
send it to you in Mattermost.
That's fine. I mean, all you really need is a
Stand
talk
by.
screen to go. What's in there? I
It's
guess
in the
unless
episode thread.
it's some kind of
Here you go. Episode thread. Boom.
yeah.
We're trying. That's why we love you guys. This is, we didn't
So here you go.
dig into this close enough. All one saying thank you for that.
So yeah, so he did. He checked. Oh well, the headline says that he checked into rehab after realizing he had a problem with addiction.
Get out of there.
So yeah.
Oh,
he said
merge.
he took the events of that night and the days after as an enormous, heartbreaking wake-up call. Which, again, hey man, let the good times roll. We're all having fun. Everybody's feeling la-di-da. You go to bed. Do you expect that your
You're
3
not
boys
thinking,
go
yeah.
outside and freeze
Somehow
to death?
all die,
I told you, this is
and
going to
then
be a
freeze?
deep one. So it made him realize he's got a problem. So police have not made any arrests. They're yet to reveal the cause of death. So the results from the toxicology report are still pending. But detectives are combing through the phones of the 3 men who were found dead nearly 48 hours after the football watch party on January 7th. And Willis, he was an HIV scientist, or still is, I guess, moved out of his home within days of police knocking on his door to question him about the bodies, fearing retaliation, and hasn't been seen since. So he got up and got out immediately.
Yeah.
He's like, gone.
Well, you
So
got
that dude was like,
reporters
I'm
showing
dipping.
up. Yeah.
Whatever. He Gene Hackman'd in the birdcage and got on the ladder out the back window and went to South Florida, I think. It's probably where he's at.
That's your favorite movie, isn't it, Bub?
I love the birdcage.
Isn't it? It's got to be your favorite movie. You've watched The Birdcage more than anybody I know.
I've seen it a lot. It holds a really special place in my heart. It's probably one of my favorite. And I just saw it was Gene Hackman's birthday recently. He's 94. So yeah.
Gene Hackman is the man.
He's still alive.
He's a legend.
I didn't even know he was still alive.
Dude, Gene Hackman and Royal Tenenbaums.
He's amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Anyhow, let's get around the call sec here. So for 2 days, the families of the victims say they visited his home, right? They tried to call him, Facebook Messenger. We heard about this, and said eventually the fiance of one of the men broke into the house through the basement and found the first body in the backyard. She then called police, who arrived to find Willis in his underwear holding a wine glass. I remember hearing about this part. Wow, jeez, I forgot about that. So said they could, the families spoken to dailymail.com said they could not dismiss drugs as a possible cause of death of all 3 men. Theories by experts include the men taking enough fentanyl combined with alcohol to pass out after leaving the house and to freeze to death. So here, first off, you take too much fentanyl. It's not about the freezing to death. I always
stop
used to joke.
breathing.
You just stop breathing.
Yes.
You stop breathing.
Your
Things
brain
just stop working.
tells your lungs and heart to stop. Like your subconscious mind, it sends signals to your lungs to not breathe anymore.
Well, it turns off your, I don't know if it's sympathetic or autonomic nervous system, but
yeah,
basically, right, your autopilot. Like when you go to your computer and just say, hey, wake up from sleep, it's still running in the background, like it's still doing things.
You're not
and the
thinking,
motors
I
and
need to breathe right now.
You're not.
One breathe in, one breathe out, one breathe in. Yeah,
right. That's
you just do it.
That's skeletal muscle. Lift one
Yeah.
time, set it down. Smooth muscle just does its job all the time. Your heart beats, your lungs work, all these things that just do what they do without our input. They're on autopilot. So you
Right.
take enough fentanyl, and my God, man, fentanyl is just, it's got to stop. I did not think it would be
news.
what it is, but it is. You want to talk about something even more dangerous than anything else.
Yeah.
Because you get people that don't know what they're doing, and not saying even if you know what you're doing that you should do it, but
Yeah.
hey, here's a little too much, and it looks like a little bit, and next thing you know, like, oh, he just never woke up. That's crazy. Not really. You shut off his smooth muscle reactions.
Right.
Anyhow, Willis claimed to not have left his home for 2 days. He slept with noise-canceling headphones on that blocked out the sounds of his friend's family frantically knocking. He took the events of that night and the days after, again, as a wake-up call, he said. After the shocking loss of his 3 close friends under extremely tragic circumstances, Jordan recognized that he had a problem. So then he went and checked himself into addiction rehab. He said he is devastated he did not get to say goodbye or go to his friends' funerals. And is concerned about suspicions he caused their deaths. Not only is the whole country accusing him of murdering his friends without factual details, evidence, or any charges at this time, but he also lost 3 close friends. So I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he willfully did this.
No.
For that, you got to go. For that, you got to go. What does he have to gain there? And I mean, that's a little bit,
That's a little too far down.
Right. And I don't know if we want to go through this entire article.
No. We don't have to. That's a good. We probably should have read this one first.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
I just, this happens sometimes where we pick up, a story or video clip or whatever it is, and we put it in, and sometimes things go so quickly that they make another round.
Yeah.
Or like an edit even comes out sometimes. I'm like, I didn't read that version. Like, I didn't even know there was another version.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really expected something of that nature to come about, or be like, they were maybe a UFO would be tied into it. They were frozen in place by a tractor beam, and that's how they actually froze to death. Something crazy, because it just doesn't make sense. Like, nobody walks around and goes, hey, you guys want to rest a spell in these nice Adirondack chairs and -5?
Yeah.
Celebrate.
Have a smoke.
Celebrate. Yeah. But
Have a
man,
smoke,
that's sad.
hang out.
That's sad.
It's too bad.
See what comes of that.
Everybody involved all the best, and
right.
Yeah, it's just a very interesting story. Things get weirder and weirder. We can skip over this one. I think we should hop into the one that you popped in here from Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
You want to do that one?
Yeah, and then I have an article I can pull up, but if you want to just kind of explain this guy. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s tweet says, new FDA ruling exempts clinical trials with minimal risk from informed consent. That means that researchers can experiment on you without your knowledge or permission, so long as they can claim that what they were testing is safe. Boy, that's aggressive.
Just doesn't
if it's
sit
true.
well with me.
If it's
that
true.
doesn't sit well with me.
So here you go. I have
that doesn't sit well with me.
The article
Do you like
linked.
that?
Absolutely not, dude. You know me. Like, you have to have consent. There's the Constitution is put in place to protect us from things like this. And you can go on and on. Well, it needs updated. It's outdated. It might be one of the most important documents ever created, and we kind of jacked it from the Iroquois Nation. Thomas Jefferson and Franklin, Ben Franklin kind of jacked it from the Iroquois and the Iroquois Nation. But, this is the reason why we have those in place. It's not because, you have to establish that leave me alone, and you have to give consent. That's why we click on privacy statements from Apple and Google when we download new operating systems to our phone. You have to consent. I just think it's a weird path we're going down. I'm not trying to get political or anything like that, guys, at all. But I like to be left alone. Let me be me. Let me do what I do. And I know, it's egregious. So here's this article. It's not an article. Sorry, this federalregister.gov. So the action, final rule, Food and Drug Administration, and it says the Food and Drug Administration, the agency, or we, is issuing a final rule to amend its regulations to implement a provision of the 21st Century Cures Act. The final rule allows an exemption from the requirement to obtain informed consent when a clinical investigation poses no more than minimal risk to the human subject, and includes appropriate safeguards to protect the rights, safety, and welfare of human subjects. The final rule permits an institutional review board to waiver or alter certain informed consent elements. So you have bureaucrats that basically can approve this for you. So unelected officials is what this seems like to me. This institutional review board, or IRB, to waive or alter certain informed consent elements or to waive the requirements to obtain informed consent under limited conditions for certain FDA-regulated minimal risk clinical investigations. And so this rule takes in effect January 22nd. This took effect January 22nd.
Yeah.
And so, you guys can, if you really want to read through this and kind of dig into this a little bit more, but, maybe you dig into it and we find out that it's not what it seems. But
let us know
of
if
the time,
we're full of BS or not. Yeah, I'm happy to be called out if this is a nothing burger. But, I mean, there is something to the fact of saying,
RFK Jr.
hey, you don't need to know about this. There's enough of all that going on already of what we do and don't need to know about. There's enough of that.
Yeah.
This is the one area I don't need that. Like if I go in for a root canal or this or that, I'd like to know the full extent of what, fill me in on that. I'm good with it, You don't have to sugarcoat it and say, oh, you're too soft-boiled to, really understand all this. That's what they're really saying to you and to the populace at large is we don't know enough and we're too dumb and I don't want to bore you with all this complex language in here, so let me do kind of like experiments on you that probably won't cause you any problems. To me, that's how I interpret it, because it's a very loose wording of there's no likelihood of harm, or however they phrase it. They're going to use really good legalese for that. And full disclosure, one thing that I used to always joke about a lot, being in healthcare was, they do a lot of things, but they do a lot of things for themselves in the sense of you have to cover yourself as a hospital organization, a healthcare entity,
liability,
to make sure that your documentation is correct and this and that. And it used to be, hey, if you didn't chart it, it didn't happen. And full disclosure, I used to always joke like, hey, I take really good care of my patients. They love me. Like, I'd rather take care of my patients than take care of the computer. So if I didn't chart it, my patients still got it done. They'll be happy with me, so I don't have anything to worry about. I'm just going to go actually do the work. That was the one thing I really got fed up with in healthcare after a while, was like that whole phenomena of worrying about that. But I also know that it just seems kind of shady that I'm still not down with the whole fact of all the DNA things everybody was doing, Ancestry, 23andMe, all those
hacked.
DNA things that were getting bought up by big tech, big companies.
They recently got hacked. 23andMe got hacked not too
bio
long
companies,
ago.
et cetera, et cetera.
Who's after DNA structures of people? A really strange lady that I met.
That's all the information in the world right there.
I'm actually asking a question, actually asking a serious question, because like I was saying, I met a pretty strange lady a long time ago, a while back at a music festival, and she always told me, she said, don't do Ancestry, don't do 23andMe.
Never done any of them.
They're looking for somebody. They're looking for certain people. It's like,
I think so too.
Okay, interesting. What kind of people do you think they're looking for? The ascended masters are all coming back into this reality. So they're looking for these genetically special people that can house these enlightened beings that are coming back during this time. It's like, man, I hope.
What?
That's
fantastic.
Had a very long conversation with her about this because
really
I'm like,
interesting.
hold on a second. let's back that up. I wasn't expecting you to say that necessarily.
No, I think it's okay. So, if we really want to go down that rabbit hole of why it's concerning to me, we've got genetically modified this and that, and
Anunnaki bloodline. There you go, chasing mound builders. That's it.
Everything's turning into metrics. Everything's turning into numbers. If people's health history, right? Like, we'll talk about health history. Like, your health history is very important. Like HIPAA, like protecting it. Like, I can't go out and like. If I took care of Gene Simmons, which I never did, I'm just saying as an example. If I was like, oh yeah, Gene Simmons came in and had a procedure, I've broken HIPAA. I've now said something about his health.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is with 23andMe and this ancestry and all that, you want to talk about giving away everything's in your DNA. If somebody just got a surgical report, they'd be like, oh, you had a hip replacement, but they don't know anything about your DNA profile and like your genetic, epigenetics, all that stuff. Like, there's so much. That's all your information.
That's like the last frontier of data mining, right? Is your
and if you're looking
data.
For someone,
Yeah.
What I was going to say was you're looking for someone in the sense of, I can't remember if it was a patient who this guy or lady had a surgery, and from their blood, they found out that this person had some unique property in their blood that either like cured some disease or whatever it was. They took it, they made it into medicine, and they made a lot of money.
Yeah.
So you look at the rainforest and stuff like that as a pharmacy. We as people also have these natural attributes that not everybody has, and we're not all aware that Mikey might take 5 breaths less every second than I do because his lungs are 55% more efficient. Who knows? Like, we're all sitting there thinking at the same time, oh, we all agree upon what we feel like and et cetera, et cetera. But when you really get down to it, we might not all be the same in a lot of ways, right? Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you look at what diseases you might be predisposed to, or I might, right? Like, or how tall you might be, or it gives you everything in that. So yeah, I think it's. I used to get freaked out when they did it at the hospital. Basically, you would go in every year, and they would take your blood, and it would give you your cholesterol, and it would give you this, and it would give you that, right? It would give you all your numbers. And what they did was they would give you like a credit towards your health insurance every year. And I don't know, I'm sure other businesses do this. To me, it was always kind of strange where I was like, what, do they really care about my health? I think they wanted the information of all the employees in that building.
Sure.
I just think we as a public have not understood why does every store want your phone number and email and this and that. They want to know everything about you to target you, to sell you this. Everybody's just getting turned into these metrics and datas, and they're not. If Bernays looked at people as a group thought, as just group A, group B, group C, I mean, it's only gotten worse. And now they just hit, a different filter search, and they go, I wonder what it's like if I look at people in this model and if I query it this way. I really do.
Yep.
And they're playing God at this point with it.
Yeah. And kind of going back to, somebody mentioned in the chat, they're looking for the star children, the indigo children. Are you aware of this, Bob?
I wouldn't be beyond thinking that's real.
Yeah. Do you know about indigos? And
I do a little bit in Star Children. Sure.
The light beings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Born with psychic abilities, or empaths, abilities turned up to 10. And so also.
Wait, empaths? Just being empathic?
Yeah. Anything like that. Absolutely.
What does that mean?
So, empaths.
Just explain it to me because I don't get what you're saying here about if you're empathic, you could be a star child.
It's one of the signs of a sensitive kid, yes. Whether it's indigo or the crystal children, that's what they call them.
I was about to say I'm going to need to get checked for that one then because I got to turn mine off sometimes.
Yeah, that's I know has always been kind of an early sign of kids that might have psychic abilities is being able to sense the emotions of other people and learning how to like turn that off and tune it out when it's needed so you're not always absorbing and the energy of other people, but all these kind of kids and this genetic material would be what if there's the bloodline of Jesus or the bloodline of these biblical figures, and Jesus really did go to France with Mary Magdalene and had a baby named Sarah that lived for many, many, many years in the southern region of France. And Sarah moved on and eventually came to places like South America. And that bloodline continued on.
All right, I might get down with 23andMe now. If
You know
here's
what I
my
mean?
take, and that's why I'm saying it is because what if they're trying to actually put together the real story? Because what we've been discussing here and in our last couple podcasts too, with especially last night, the one we just did, talking about how do we get the real story? How do we really get
Genetics.
to understand what's going on?
I'm with you.
It's what I'm saying. Maybe, just maybe, we got to get all that. And that's a big trust factor. Like, hey, we just
the hackers are
promise doing? All we want is we just want to do good things with the guys. Tell us everything. We won't tell a soul. We'll put it in the vault.
Necro said, speaking of bloodlines, whatever happened to Hitler's relatives? You never heard about Jerry Hitler from Oklahoma. Right. Maybe they're looking for them. They're looking for him. Whatever happened to
Jerry Hitler? Good
Jerry,
God.
Walter, Norma Jean? I don't know.
That's too funny.
It's interesting. But there you go. I don't know how we got into genetic material and all that, but that was kind of a fun one.
Well, we talked about the medical informed consent type thing of how
yes.
Slipped a quick one in there.
Yeah, that was good. But I do have an announcement, guys. Give me one moment. I am going to post this in here right now if I could actually type. Because we are approaching the end of the episode, guys. I hope everybody out there had a great time hanging out. This was a really, really fun one. We had some ridiculous articles. I wasn't really expecting some of those to kind of end up the way they did. Hang on a second. Add on to that. Operation Second Coming wants to take DNA from the Shroud of Turin and clone Jesus. Yes. Heard about this. New tests have lent more credence to the Shroud being legitimate. Big time update. I can't believe I totally forgot about this story. Maybe that's
listened to something about that the other day. Was it from?
It was on that podcast. It was on a Rogan podcast episode. But the Shroud of Turin, a lot of people have kind of written off as being a fake for years now. And from what they were saying, this new study, basically the parts that they tested that they said was only about 500 years, that somebody had faked it in about 500 years ago. So like the 1300s, whatever, 1400s. But that place was just one of the stops on the Shroud of Turin's journey. According to the documentation, is that it ended up in that place, but it was somewhere else long before that in multiple places. So this new test shows that it's actually, the part that they tested is more closer to around 2,000 years old. And the part that they tested could have been a patch that somebody 500 years ago patched that baby up and fixed it. So you have multiple sections of the Shroud of Turin that have different ages, different dates. So they're reeds. It's reed clothing. Grasses, reeds. That's how they would make the materials back then.
How the hell does that last? How does that last 2,000 years?
Being preserved. This was like,
that's like a tissue. That's like keeping a tissue for 2,000 years.
Advanced art. This is an artifact that the Catholic Church.
I get it. I'm not trying. I'm just saying, how does it not like?
Well,
fall
here you go.
apart?
Here you go. The Relic Shrine in Maria Stein, Ohio, the area we grew up, has.
They don't have it.
Oh, but they have a piece of the cross. So if anybody isn't hip to what a relic shrine is, they're these giant. Nuns live in these places, so it's like one of the big hubs of Catholic churches, and they're in a lot of different places all over the world, but it's literally a home for relics. So the Vatican collects all these relics, whether it's John the Baptist's hoodie that he liked to wear in the mornings, or whatever it is. They have these, but in Maria Stein, from what I understand, there is a piece of the cross there. Now, how do you go back? Apparently, this thing's documented and preserved, and there's a little chapel on the grounds that I remember going into when we did our confirmation. Comment. You want to talk?
Pretty
Go
good
ahead.
one. Pretty good one. Yeah. All one same said there are pieces of the, quote, real cross all over Italy. You could assemble them and build a house.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is
right.
Everybody has,
But the one in the Maria Stein was specifically built, according to them, to house the piece of the cross. So there are other relics there as well, but it was sent there.
Yeah, agreed.
So the story goes.
Agreed.
Hey,
I can't say one way or the
Catholics
other.
ourselves, so. But
I dabble in it every now and
go.
then. Yeah. Take something good from it. Not everything.
Okay, guys, we got an announcement. We're gonna put this baby to bed. Just blasted out the link. We got the Strange Road. And I didn't even spell it correctly. It auto-corrected.
What'd you do?
Auto-corrected my strange. It says DSR Detours. Oh, man, that's hilarious. Try again. There. And no, I put the correct link. Here we go. TSR. It auto-corrected. Darn you, Google. Here we go. Bam. Strange Road Discord channel, guys. That is the link. Hit it. You want to join the Discord channel? You are all welcome. We are announcing that right now. TSR the Discord channel is live. There's a couple questionnaires. Hit me up. Let me know what you guys think. If there's any channels or anything that you want added, reach out. Let me know. I think that the very first thing is to kind of just get the conversation going. Tell us a little bit about yourself. But there you go. Strange Road Discord launched, ready to go. It's still getting kind of dialed in and fine-tuned, but it's out there. And, we probably should have launched this a long time ago, but you know what? We get a little busy with things, and then everything just...
It's there.
So... Bam. It's out. It's live. And you're all welcome. All welcome to it. So
hell yeah. Nice job, Mikey.
There you go. Yay, Chasing Mound Builder says. All one same. You guys are great, man. You guys rule. Like I said, reach out to us. If there's anything you guys want to talk about, the Facebook group, now the Discord channel, I think I added a Strange Happenings channel in there. If I didn't, I'm going to do that. So we'll definitely have that Strange Happenings Discord channel for all you guys to start popping links in there. And,
do I get to
do you get in
song? Do I get to play another
Oh
song?
my God, yes! Of course you do.
Not to railroad you. I want to do if you're doing your full outro.
Please, railroad away.
I just want to play one.
Railroad.
See what it sounds like.
Hey, dude, hit it.
But do your thing. Keep saying it. I'm gonna
hit it. Okay, you gonna get set up? Cool. Okay, guys, Bub's gonna play guitar. I totally forgot that we talked about that. So, again, Discord, hit us up. Strange Road at the Strange Road on all the platforms. We're everywhere. Just Google us, strangeroad.com. And here you go.
Yeah, I didn't want to get dinged on this one, so I
Bub
actually
Ramley,
have,
everybody.
This is my song still.
I might be a
no
little
words.
critical. I might be a little critical on your placement. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you in preview. Stand by.
I think if I put it down there, it should be pretty good.
Bye
I won't
bye,
be able
y'all.
to see my guitar.
I'm going full screen on you. Can you back up a little bit?
Yeah.
There you go. And then bring the mic
How's
up.
that?
I still need your vocals though.
I don't have any vocals on this.
Oh, you're just jamming. Cool.
It's just instrumental.
Okay, copy that.
Is that good?
Yep. I'm gonna mute myself.
That's it. How was that?
There we go. There we go, baby.
Not too shabby.
Dude, that sounded nice. Sounded real nice. Were you
I
just
need to
working on that
we got to
today?
figure out some. Yeah, I've had that song for a long time. I think I've had that song since we went skiing at whatchamacallit?
Sochi?
No. No. At whatchamacallit? Seven Springs.
Oh, okay. Oh
Seven
boy.
Springs, yeah.
Okay.
I have one more I can do, but yeah,
do it up.
I'm gonna keep it. I'll keep it simple, but I won't. I'm not gonna sing anything for this because again, it's just more of like stuff that I wrote.
Yeah.
Instrumental.
That's fine.
I mean, this
that's
one
fine.
turned
Hit
into
it.
a song, but whatever.
Hit it, bro.
That's all for that one.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Sweet.
That's what's up. Hey, we had some amazing super stickers and super chats while you were doing that. We had Cess in the City.
Oh.
Thank you so much, Cess in the City.
Damn.
You rule. We
Thank
had
you.
Inside. Thank you so
Hell yes.
very much, guys. All of you that
Believe me, we're working on making that better too.
Yep.
Really appreciate that. That's
We're getting it
amazing.
dialed in, baby.
Wait till
That's-
we really dial it in. I can't
Yep.
wait to start figuring out how to do
and we
some
had
of that stuff too.
we
when
had
get to
another
that.
one earlier from Burton as well. Thank
Yeah.
all of you guys. You
Really
guys
appreciate that.
Freaking rule. Make sure you guys go follow Necromechanimal on Instagram, doing all that dope
Yep.
artwork for the show. We appreciate the hell out of him. Go follow Burton from Local Legends YouTube channel. Always putting out great stuff. Who else we got in here? Any other creators, go check them out, guys. We have a lot of people that tune in. We like to jump in other people's live streams too, mix it up a little bit over on DA's channel, Cryptid Huntress's channel. Try to pop into the Hollow Sky Night Shift, which is
I missed Cryptid Huntress today. I was even going to try to watch it. I totally biffed on it.
She's great.
I felt
And
terrible. I missed that one.
We're gonna get her back on very soon as well. We got
That'd
a
be
couple.
cool.
couple other locals that we've been working through. Some not even locals. We have some folks that are way across the pond. Another researcher in Netherlands. We have a researcher in the UK. So we're going international with our guests, y'all. What are you reading?
Yeah.
Did I miss
I was reading Burton's comment. He said, "Do it shirtless next time. You might get more super chats." And then I read.
I know
the
you're
next
not
one,
talking
and-
about me, dog.
Yeah, I read the next one, and I can't. I don't know how to pronounce it, if it's inside or whatever. But said you and Amel should play together. Believe me, we talked about that.
We talked about
after the episode the other day. We're like, man, how do we figure out how do we play music together? Because I don't mind singing and whatever. I like to sing, but I like to play guitar. Like I really just like playing guitar.
And we're
Like,
not allowed to play
music.
Blackbird or any Beatles song or any known song.
Yeah,
we got flagged by YouTube on the last Strange Happenings. We got that video got not demonetized, it just got remonetized to Sony Music and BMI. So our 12 cents that we're gonna make on that video is going to them. So
does that mean that I made Paul McCartney famous from his own song? I put the money back in his pocket. Man, you're only famous because of me playing your covers now of the song that you wrote.
Which your version sounds better, I think.
Oh man, he's one of the most amazing, just musicians, songwriters, singer type stuff. He's like a unicorn.
You don't think he's a clone?
Not real.
That died in 1969.
He might be. Let's not. We can't. We have to make that a whole nother episode. We can't start down that road right now.
Oh
we're gonna
man,
need a whole nother episode.
The documentary I'm referring to is called The Winged Beetle. If you guys haven't checked that out, The Winged Beetle. That's a very strange, interesting piece on Paul McCartney.
Nice.
But do the things. Follow us everywhere. I know most of you guys are. If you guys are new to this channel and new to this stream tonight, welcome. Hit us up on Instagram. Hit us up in that Discord. Hit us up in the Facebook group. It's hard to keep an eye on all these platforms. We're doing our best. And let's give a big round of applause for Born Not to Run.
I was about to say, great job, Born Not to Run.
Moderating. It does really, really help me because I'm hitting buttons and hitting that merge and hitting that 2 up, getting rid of Bub's got to look pretty, so he's got to just he's got to be freed up to be Bub.
I need like a makeup artist or something or yeah. I feel like I'm trying out for a
if you guys
Tim
have ever
Burton
noticed
movie.
This hoodie, but it's a UFO hoodie.
It's awesome.
Up the sleeve, and that's a local artist. Gosh, her name's escaping me right now.
So Icelandic for intuition, Insahi. Thank you so much because I was
beautiful.
I thought it was something close to that, but I'm always thrown off by some of those characters where I'm not familiar with the A and the E are together.
Yeah.
As much as I love language and words, you would think I would know more than one language, but I don't.
Yeah. No,
I don't. However, if you drop me off somewhere long enough, I'll learn it. But, it's kind of like maps. I'm not going to take the time to learn those anymore. Until you get lost in Daniel Boone National Forest.
Get kidnapped by a family of squatches. You might want to learn how to read a map then, bud.
Yeah. Go missing in the 600-mile underground stretch under Vegas.
So let me just ask you a question, Bub. Why, when we do the live streams from our desk, do we go 2 hours? This stream has been going on for almost 2 hours. Are you aware? Usually our Strange Happenings are like boom, 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 hour, we're in.
You know what? Full disclosure, I think we just need to get rid of the articles even. I think we just need to somehow figure out how we just pre-charge the conversation. And then
what do you guys think out there in the chat? What do you guys think?
We can do something. I like,
we got to have.
This is just like a
points to talk about, I think. But
that's why I think we need to have
the headlines,
enough of a
the
reference.
Articles. Yeah. Because I think it is more fun to just hang out and bullshit and chill and I'm what, man?
Taking their input and going.
I didn't even have a beer.
What are you talking about?
I didn't even have a beer with me.
Failed. Start over.
We don't need substances to have a good time. But yeah, okay. So Burton says I like both. Spin a wheel. Good point there, Chasing Mound Builders. Like the articles, the hangout, and now the music. Cess in the City likes it all. All right. More music. Build it into the structure of your
You gotta
stream.
figure it out.
Please and
Yeah.
thank you. Okay, so build it into the structure of the stream. That's a really interesting idea. Maybe, and I don't know if you guys know this, but Bub can make up songs about anything on the spot.
Pretty good with that.
So we're going to start getting his chops built up. There is an unreleased campfire song that Bub wrote and I recorded about our buddy D.A. Roberts. And if you ever get that song dialed in and it becomes a thing, maybe we play guitar in between each article and you make up a song.
If I remember
at the end of each article.
I swear it ended up
Play the
sounding
DA
something
song.
like
Play the
I don't
DA
know how.
song.
I don't know how.
Sure you do.
No, I don't. You think I do. I don't remember.
Dude, the DA
That's why
song.
I make those songs.
If
I remember, though, it had a connotation of Neil Young.
It was
like old man Neil Young, but like DA. Like that's what was.
It was like DA. Imagine DA as a cryptid gunslinger. That was the theme that I gave Bub.
Basically.
I go, okay, this will get you started for your song.
Like
just imagine.
GPT prompted me with a song.
Like DA in the cryptid reserve, but he's DA the gunslinger. You know, he's got the long trench coat. He's got the cowboy
I'm imagining
hat.
DA as like, he's like the warden of the national parks where it's the cryptid preserves. I'm telling you, like that, the whole
oh shit.
Take Jurassic Park and kind of apply that to cryptids in the national parks, and I think that's a film. I think there's just like at some time there's like an alarm siren that just starts going off, and everybody comes out of their houses in the U.S. and all over the world, and they're like, "What's going on?" And it's like this announcement, like, "They have breached. They have breached. They will be here soon." You're like, "What? What?" And it's all the cryptids are getting let out all the national parks. They can't keep them in anymore. We're just. It's not the purge. It's the it's the Ponderosa. Like we're gonna be the buffet for the cryptids.
Yes,
that's
absolutely, absolutely. Dancing
Paranormal
Lights,
Ponderosa.
Dancing Lights. Great comment there. New to the stream, longtime listener. Would love to hear your thoughts on some more classic strange cases as well with news articles. Funny you mentioned that. Dancing Lights.
Something old, something new.
Well, here's the thing, Bub. This new format we've been trying to hammer out a little bit. We have something we've been cooking. We've had a couple meetings about it. I'm starting to kind of build my outline to do these kind of throwback episodes. That kind of like what you're talking about, Dancing Lights, where we dive into a specific topic, more of a research based.
Because we still have curiosities.
Not trying to get super deep like maybe Cryptids of the Corn does. But
have a better perspective.
But a lot of this stuff I read about or was into forever ago, and so it's fun for me to kind of revisit some of those subjects. And so I've got a list of top 5 things that I want to cover that I've been passionate about over the years that aren't necessarily current topics. So we're working on some of that stuff.
There's still a lot of fun.
Here's the thing. We want to live stream more, and so I think that format would be awesome for, kind of a in-between strange happenings. Maybe it's its own show.
Right.
We're not real sure yet, so we're trying to hammer out some of those details, but the very first topic that we're going to pick, I think you guys are going to enjoy, and I'm going to try not to get crazy deep and overwhelm myself with, hundreds of pages of documents, and but there are a few points that I am looking into right now. So stay tuned, guys.
That's going to be fun.
We are listening. Nancy, what is happening? Much
we
love
appreciate
to you.
all the input. I like Burton. He just threw in there. He said, make a song for each cryptid and play them at random times throughout the stream.
There you go, Bob.
It's not a bad idea.
All right.
The only thing is, to do it randomly, I got to have that guitar nearby and somehow.
That's all right. I can talk.
We'll make it happen, Burton.
I will talk and talk and talk until you're
I know, but if it's random, you're going to know if I get up and move to. Oh, he's good. You're going to know. We can't surprise you.
I can take you completely off. I can put,
There you go. Now you're talking.
We can put a standby graphic up while Bub, and then you just
take a freeze frame of me. I'll hold still and act like I'm still here.
And I'll just tell funny stories. Yeah. I'll just tell funny stories or something.
We'll have to hack our own feed somehow.
You let Stoner worry about that, and you let Disbro, the smart guys, worry about that. We
Yeah.
give them the ideas. They figure out how to technically do it. That's how this show runs. I'm no damn wizard, but I can hit buttons. I am a decent director, and I can hit some buttons.
Do you know how many times I used to tell you, hey, all I can do is talk? Like, you can play guitar too. I'm like, I can play guitar too. I can talk and play guitar. That's about it. Like, I can hit some buttons in my vicinity here, but I'm not great with buttons. I'll figure them out.
Oh, dude.
It's always a fun time. Thank you
great.
so much to everybody in the chat hanging out
Yeah,
with us.
you
Mike
guys
White
were-
Label. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike.
My buddy
what's
out west.
happening, brother?
Good to see you again. Alien Lobster as well. If I recall correctly the other day, are you in Antarctica or were you pulling my proverbial leg? Because somebody in a chat the other day said Antarctica, and I was like, dude, if you're really down there, we need to talk. So, but if not, I still love the name Alien Lobster. Great name. And Mike, appreciate seeing you in the chat, brother.
Mike White, killing it on the drums.
Hell yeah.
One of the best drummers here in Columbus. And Mike, I'm not even sure where you live now, brother, but I've been in contact with your boy recently, Mr. Be Honest. But hey, guys, this has been amazing. All of you in the chat watching tonight. Thank you all.
We appreciate you.
Whoever's going to listen to this, we're going to try to get this out as quick as we possibly can. I'm going to have to stay back a little bit after the stream to get the audio version ready for tomorrow morning. But, keep liking, sharing, subscribing. Much love. Peace, love, and chicken grease to all. We're out.
See you
Oh,
guys.
you know what? You know what I messed up last time? I'm not going to mess this up, guys. There we go. And shit.